What's up, guys? Welcome to the Not So Critical Update. And today's episode, we're going to be talking about some fascinating topics we've got lined up. I'm so sorry.
Peter's got that energy today.
Yeah. For any of our regular viewers, we normally do the recording, the intro we record afterwards, so we know what we're going to be talking about in the upcoming episode.
Do they know that?
Try something different because for our regular viewers, of course they do.
Okay.
I mean,
fair enough.
Yeah.
They hear us complain about it enough.
However,
that's true.
I hate.
What are you talking about?
Yeah. So in a quest to reduce the actual amount of work we have to do, we're going to record them beginning. So we're going to be talking about what was it? Fake demos? Yeah, that's it.
Fake demos. Yeah.
Much smoother this way. We're going to be talking about fake demos. Google did it recently. Some other people have done it. We've got some articles lined up. It's going to be super interesting. Stay tuned to find out. Like and subscribe. Say hi to your mum. Happy New Year.
There was an article that kind of triggered this that got submitted on our Discord server, which everybody should definitely 100% join. We are, where we go? There we go. It came out recently that Apple had faked their demo. I don't even know if that's new news. Peter likes our new like and subscribe animation.
It's so good.
It is. It's awesome. I spent
audio listeners, you're missing out.
Last weekend putting that together. It was so much fun. We should have a contest to see who can find the most Easter eggs or something.
Yeah. Mike has hidden a lot of Easter eggs in that little animation.
Has he?
I literally packed in as many as I could think of.
All right, I'll check it out. Yeah, I'll check it out.
And if anybody can think of another better one, I'd actually be willing to redo it. So we did a story 2 weeks ago about Google's Gemini demo, which was amazing. Article here about Apple's iPhone demo, which was amazing. Tesla launched their full self-driving demo, which was amazing.
All fake.
All of them were bullshit.
Yep. All absolute rubbish. And it's a common theme. And it's so weird because it's every time people find out and especially with Gemini, with Google Gemini, which is the most recent one what were Google thinking? All that's happened is that people have realized that the things that they highlighted are not possible yet. So they've achieved the opposite of what they were trying to do with the marketing demo.
Yeah, I think this one specifically, right? Like the Google one, the other ones weren't known, right? It wasn't known that they were fake, but like this larger than life before availability exhibition, right, is so Hallmark tech, it's almost crazy. Promise the moon and deliver a fucking rock.
Apple kind of kicked it off literally 20 years ago, but they didn't deliver a rock. They delivered a pretty good product. At least by Gen 3, I guess it was a good product.
No. The first one they didn't actually, because they delivered a Gen 1 phone that they had to recall because it was so trash.
That's true.
Then they had a year, less than a year, to release the iPhone 2G, which was a fucking huge hit. And I had that phone, and it was sick.
I was going to say, if you scale it up, then you basically end up with Theranos, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that how you pronounce it? Theranos? I don't know.
Oh,
so,
Theranos.
Yeah. What's her name? Anyone remember?
Crap. I'll look it up.
So that blonde woman who was on the front of
it is a great example of as you scale it up, you start becoming a con person, like
Elizabeth Holmes,
con woman. That's right.
Elizabeth Holmes, yeah.
And I didn't watch the movie, but I did follow the news about this quite closely. Yeah. Oh yeah. A TV show or Netflix or something.
Netflix, probably, yeah.
And I mean, and I think probably
should we recap the story for anybody who's not familiar?
Oh yeah,
Theranos.
Sure. So Theranos was a biomed startup that came out of nowhere that promised some blood testing for cancer,
full diagnosis of essentially everything from one drop of blood.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
super fast.
Yeah.
And
They had a great demo.
A product.
Was
it was an appliance that they had, the special appliance, and it didn't do a thing. It was fake.
Yeah. And Elizabeth Holmes was on the front of all these magazines as the next unicorn in the medtech industry, and where has she come from? And there was all these quotes and her talking about her work lifestyle, and it was all just Times Women of the Year or I don't know, all that kind of shit. So and all fake.
Okay, so Sam Bankman-Fried, is that a similar case?
FTX was going to be my next example.
Well, right. I think not quite. It's not quite.
Well, FTX was just mishandling. Yeah. But he is similar in that he was portrayed as this turbo genius.
Yeah.
And really, all he was just a scammer.
Yeah. And like the stuff that they spent on like luxury yachts and things that was just
and like the FTX whatever stadium, right? Like League of Legends, the Riot Games and FTX partnered for one of their world's championships, and they had to drop them. They lost $100 million or something. Like it was like a really just absurd amount of like fake deals that just weren't actually real, and that Sam just kind of talked his way into.
Yeah. So I think. Sorry, finish. Go ahead, John.
No, that's it.
I think so. There's just fraud, right? But I think Peter makes a really interesting point that fraud can develop out of this marketing. So as a marketer, I get wanting to put your best foot forward. As a software developer, I understand the pain of doing a live demo of software for the first time. I can see how you maybe would like overpromise and then be kind of backed in a corner. And everybody's like, "Oh my God, this is amazing. We'll take 1,000." You're like, "Oh shit, what do I do now?" So, is it a problem if these demos are somewhat aspirational?
I think it comes down to like almost the legal definition of fraud. If it's if you're intentionally misleading someone, then you're committing fraud. But if you're just
the iPhone was intentionally misleading. The Tesla was intentionally misleading with dangerous consequences, I should add.
Yeah, the Tesla one's bad.
The Google one is intentionally misleading with not so serious consequences. And I don't think that intentionally misleading should be fraud. I think that intent is what should separate fraud from aspirations, right? Like,
well, that's what I mean. It's like if you genuinely believe that what you're demoing is reality, then that's
no. What I mean is actually different. It's your intent to make it a reality, right? So take Steve Jobs presenting the iPhone, 2006, 2007,
2003,
right?
I thought. Was it? When was the original? I'll find out. You go ahead.
I'm gonna go 2005.
Oh, 2007. 2007.
Yeah. So I know because I remember when I got that. Anyway, Steve wholeheartedly believed that this would become a reality, right? He was also betting the whole fucking company. Correct.
Yeah.
He knew that currently wasn't, but I mean, he is putting everything on red here that it has to become a reality.
You could say the same thing about Elizabeth Holmes, man.
No, I don't think so, and I'll tell you why that Tesla one is kind of important too, is because one is a fucking smartphone, okay? And the other is medical consequences or driving accidental, like health consequences. That's the difference.
So what about Google Gemini?
Yeah, what about it?
Everything shown was possible, achievable within the next year.
Yeah.
So that's cool because it falls in the iPhone category.
I would say so. I don't think that it risks human harm. But me saying to the world that I have made a car that can drive you and park and do stuff. And then my dumbass customers are going to buy the car with that expectation, and they're going to run over little Timmy who's playing in the backyard or in the front yard, right? Like, that's the difference here. Is Google Gemini is going to lie to you about your court case because you're a shitty lawyer, like what they did with ChatGPT, as you guys might remember, like those two lawyers. Okay, it's not going to, like, a doctor isn't going to be like, "Hey, Google, what happens if I cut this vein real quick? Like,
Sorry.
like that's
Nice.
not the same. You cannot compare the two, I don't think. And the same goes for obviously the iPhone, where like the worst that happens is people are unhappy with the shitty product you came out with.
I don't know how you enforce that, but
I don't think
fair
so. I think it's
distinction.
subjective. It's totally subjective.
Yeah.
I think it's very not so critical update, to be honest. It's like it's just our fucking
But
opinions.
you also
Get
said
over it.
before, like Google got caught, but did they? Like we know it was faked because we're in the bubble. How many millions of people would see that demo and just be like, "Oh, that's fucking incredible," and never give it a second thought? Same with Tesla.
You know what this reminds me of? Is when you both boomers thought that Apple released true AR, right? They portrayed it almost as true.
They did. They totally like implied it that way.
Face and the see-through. And I mean, it's not see-through. There's a big old computer in between your face and the rest of the world. And I mean, they just kind of misled you to believe it.
Yep.
And you were so convinced you didn't believe me. Like, I'm like, hey, they showed the hardware, guys. Like,
I think you're overselling that bit a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean,
we can go back and watch it, but it's fine. I'll give you a break. And
he can only say that because he knows I'm too lazy to go back and find the footage. But maybe a listener or somebody in our Discord could go back and find that for us. It would be a perfect use of Discord.
I think we're only allowed to use that thing. I know.
Oh my God, beard meets food. I see one. It's so good. God, I love that guy.
All right, Mike. Okay, we'll let you off since it's the first time you're showing it off. But yeah. Okay.
No,
anyway,
keep going to that
I don't know. I don't know what I was going to say now. I got distracted by the like and subscribe.
I don't think there's anything to be done about it. I think it's kind of. I mean, it's a sign that everything is just about marketing now.
Yeah, 100%.
Which is unfortunate.
He's right in this little. He says it a lot, okay, but here specifically, he's not fucking wrong. Like it really is about just a selling point. Like,
by the way,
yeah.
So in the last in the last week, Mike did this one line. Every now and again, he says something gold. It doesn't happen that often, but every now and again,
rarely.
I know. But there was one thing he said, which was about how you can build the best product in the world, best service, best whatever in the world. But the problem is that people aren't going to know about it without marketing.
Correct.
And marketing is I don't think he said necessary evil, but like that's how I see it. It's a
core functionality. Yeah. You have to have it.
You have to accept it, and therefore, it's really important. And I use that first of all in the YouTube comments. We're going to be talking about YouTube comments in a day or two, so like and subscribe to check that out. That was your hint. That was your cue, Mike.
Should I play it again? Maybe I'll just put it on a continuous loop. Let it go.
Every 3 minutes.
But I also used it in real life with an actual other human being. So I want you to know that.
I like that. And I also said, though, there's nothing exposes a bad product faster than good marketing. And Tesla's a perfect example of that because that marketing was phenomenal. Everybody saw it and was like, oh, my God, I have to have that. And now we find out, it was all a lie. Sorry. JK, LOL.
Yeah, exactly. And I think also, Peter, it's important to remember that word of mouth is a rudimentary form of marketing.
Yeah. That was my point. That's what I said.
Yeah.
Even like, that's exactly what I said, actually, in the comment. Like, It was. I forget who it was. It's actually a regular commenter who I really like. And she said something like, she just hates marketing, any kind of any form of marketing. And I said, look, I feel the same way. I hate the fact that this is true, but as Mike said, I guess said it wasn't good.
That's the only way I'm ever right is reluctantly.